Welcome back to Culture Makers. I'm your host, Riley, and I'm here with our special guest host, Emma.
Hello.
She's from the Central Switch team. She's so awesome and so trendy, and we're excited to have her here because she's going to help keep us cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My job.
That's her sole job.
All I do.
How are you doing?
I'm really good.
Yeah?
I'm tired. School's starting. If you guys haven't started school yet.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary.
Yeah. It's a little scary. It's a little intimidating, but if you need back to school advice, we talked about it last week. Go check that out because school can be intimidating, but me and James, we've got cool tips and tricks for you, okay? The pencil bag one was my favorite one. Just, you'll have to watch it to find out. So we've got some culture that we need to address up in here. And the first of which I am very excited about because I am very passionate about pretty much everyone involved in this. Oh, yeah. But Justin Bieber and Chandler Moore, they led worship together at church home. And here's the thing. I love Justin Bieber. I went to his concert in 2010 and I cried. I was 10 years old. Yep. I love Chandler Moore, Maverick City, amazing. Yep. Of course. And I love Church Home, Judah Smith. He's my fave. I love him so much. Yep. What are your thoughts? Did you watch it?
I watched part of it. I'm not gonna cap. I didn't watch the whole thing. But
it was like 12 minutes long.
Well, I don't know. It's really cool to hear like Justin Bieber, the guy that like literally all of my first grade class had a crush on, like start singing about Jesus instead of Beauty and the Beat.
Yes. Oh, wow. Beauty and the Beat. Throwing it back.
We got Mav City instead of Nicki Minaj now, so that's really cool.
Love that. My favorite thing about Justin Bieber and just like celebrities in general that have started following the Lord. Oh, yeah. So like Kanye West, you know, 100%. Is what I love about them is that they're using their platform and their influence for good and to promote like, hey, this is what following Jesus looks like. And what it isn't is some sort of like perfectionist lifestyle. Yeah. Because what I think celebrities that follow Jesus get a bad rap because we kind of look at either their past or maybe they're still making some decisions that we're like, okay, well, how can you follow Jesus and still make these decisions? Yeah. But I think what's important for us to remember is they're still human. Like I think we dehumanize them a little bit and they're still like God is actively transforming them. So Justin Bieber saying yes to Jesus didn't mean that he was just overnight going to become just like perfect in every way, you know? And so what I love about that is they're like putting themselves out there, and that's a very vulnerable thing to do, to say I'm following Jesus and still your entire life be broadcasted. I mean, I know I follow Jesus and I would not want my entire life broadcasted to the world. So anyways, big fan, love it, super excited, and it's so good. So if you haven't gotten a chance to watch it, go check it out because I listened to it on the way here because I was just like, I need some worship up in here.
I had a solid 5 minutes. The 5 minutes I listened to were really good.
Okay, moving on. We wanted to talk about, there's some things happening in our world today. Because here's the thing is we noticed like with Justin Bieber and Maverick City, that's a huge high in our world of just like, that's what a powerful thing for us to see. And then you've got such contrast of like, there's just a lot going on in our world and it's pretty heavy.
Just thinking about Haiti specifically with the earthquake recently, sending lots of love and prayers that way. And the biggest one since probably 2010, I think.
Wow, yeah.
And
it's like 7.2 level. Yeah, I mean, there's probably so much destruction there right now.
And of course, in Afghanistan, just knowing that as soon as we pull out troops that the Taliban took over, that we want to send lots of love and prayers that way, just as we're sending troops back. And hopefully we can get the situation back to somewhat normal.
Yeah, so our hearts are with just those countries, and we're going to be praying for them and just standing alongside of them as just people who love people and love people in Jesus' name. We're going to pray for them and lift those countries up right now, and we felt like it was important to acknowledge that here on Culture Makers. On a lighter note, Travis Barker from a Blink-182 drummer. I'm going to need you to talk about this because here's the thing. I don't know anything about Blink-182. They're old to me, but Emma has told me that they're relevant now because...
Blink-182 itself, not super relevant. However, Travis Barker dating, I believe, Kourtney Kardashian, that's relevant. If you saw them at the UFC fight, Conor McGregor, you know what I'm talking about. But just knowing that somehow through his very public love with Kourtney Kardashian, he was able to overcome his fear of flying after that traumatic plane accident in 2008.
So there's a traumatic plane accident in 2008.
Yep.
I was 8 years old. So
how old was I? Was 6.
So I don't remember that. But apparently it's a big deal because now he's back on a plane because love. Because love conquers all. Love conquers all. Okay, and then here's something else that we need to talk about because I am a big fan of Starbucks as well. And that is also controversial, I know. Here's the thing is, I don't think Starbucks is the best. It's not my favorite place. I think that you should go to a local coffee shop because local coffee shops are just honestly better in my opinion.
Support
and also
just
business. Like, yes, shop local. But Starbucks baristas are right now saying that they're actually fed up with these complex custom drink orders that can verge on the ridiculous. One said they were asked to blend egg bites into a drink.
My first actual Starbucks drink that wasn't like the glass bottle was this summer.
Oh, like a Frappuccino thingy?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I can't even really speak on it. I just think if you're putting eggs in it, you need to draw the line.
Yeah. No, that's
not a pocket.
I'm a grande iced caramel macchiato kind of gal. And so I'm simple. I don't even do the whole adding syrups and all the other things. But adding egg bites, I mean, that can't be real. Like that has to be a YouTube, like that's got to be a YouTuber doing some sort of like.
It's like the ice cream cone by the ice cream.
It's
not real.
It's like that was definitely to troll the baristas.
That was not.
And honestly, if you put egg bites in your Starbucks, we're going to be praying a little bit extra for you just because we just think you need it a little bit.
We'll lift up your name.
Yeah, we'll lift up your name and the Lord will heal your heart. We've got some questions from you. So if you have any questions, leave it down below. It could be answered in the next Culture Maker episode. But here are our questions for you. Daniel Miller asked, what are some ways we can be joyful?
Literally anything. Happiness is, I think, very like temporary. It's something that you have to make for yourself, and you can find it in just about anything. Joy itself comes only from God. Like there is no other way around it. And being able to actually find joy you can find joy in the smallest things. It doesn't have to be that, I live in this great big house and I have this great family and I'm going to school. It can be in anything as small as just remembering every day that you were chosen by God. Like that you are saved, that you will get to see God face to face one day, that you have the honor of wearing his name like a badge. It's very easy to find joy in the little things instead of focusing on your happiness per se.
I love joy, and I think if I could change my name to anything, it would be joy.
I can see that.
Yes, I love that because I love being joyful. I think you're right. I think you can do it in everything, in every circumstance. We can be joyful, and like you can set the temperature in any room that you walk in and just choose joy. Like I'm gonna choose to be joyful right now and just walk into this room and bring joy, and bada bing, bada boom. You got people laughing, you got people smiling. Joy. Also, wait. We need to address something before we carry on with questions. Here is the deal. I have changed my posture for you. You're welcome. One previous episode, I was caught slouching maybe a little bit more than the average person would.
Just a little.
Here's the thing. These chairs make you just feel like you need to slouch.
Yeah.
Like they're just slouchy chairs. But we hear you. We see you. I'm sitting up now. I received that feedback. Thank you for being my friends, having my back. You're all worried about my spine. And I appreciate that. Jordan Francis asked, how do you share your faith if you go to a Christian school?
What's funny about a lot of situations that you find yourself in where you're in a church or you're in a Christian school, you think that you're surrounded by like-minded people. You get in your head thinking like, oh, like all Christians are the same. And obviously, like we talked about before, like everybody goes through different seasons. You might be experiencing faith in a completely different way than someone else. It's the same way that like, oh, like I really like to read my Bible every morning, and then this other person is like, I haven't opened my Bible since I got it. So just talking about God is like the easiest way to share your faith, especially if you're in a Christian school. I know mandatory like chapel's a thing, so why not open the conversation?
What I think is important to note here is not everybody in a Christian school is Christian, because I would argue a lot of parents who are Christian and want like their kid to be around other Christians, will put them in a Christian school. Well, that student may know of God. They may even go to church. They go to the chapel at the Christian school, but they may not have a relationship with Jesus yet. Like they haven't decided to make their faith their own. It's just as important to share your faith at a Christian school, because I think that there's more commonly, we talk a lot about people who come with broken stories where it's like they never knew Jesus and then they showed up at a church and then they came and found him, and that is a great story. And that's a lot of people's stories. But I actually think a lot of people's stories as well is growing up in church, kind of going through the motions because that's just what they've been taught. And then one day turning their faith into their own. And so I think what it's important for us to do is not like disassociate from people who we may just assume already are Christians, and ask questions about like people's genuine faith at a Christian school. So being like, what does your faith look like, your personal faith look like for you? And kind of push on those questions of like, if they're just like, well, I just go to church and I read my Bible in the morning every once in a while, kind of pushing on those questions a little bit more and be like, but what does a relationship look like? You know, those kinds of things. Because I think that there are still people in this world who they go to church and they go through the motions, but they wouldn't say that they actually have a relationship with Jesus. So it's just important to remember. Great question. And then another great question is, I'm sorry, I'm not going to pronounce her name right. Naya Juma asked, what's the difference between Catholic and Christian?
Catholics and Christians fall under the same umbrella of Christianity. Although we believe in the same God, we believe that Jesus is the path that we choose to follow to get to heaven, we may go about it in different ways. We, as a Life.Church, we're not denominational, so we may not go through confession. We don't take communion every Sunday, but we do still worship and follow the same God.
Right. Yes, I feel like we should unpack this. I'll give you a visual. Here's an umbrella. Picture of an umbrella. Yeah? Great. Okay. Yep, it's gonna happen. Picture of an umbrella. Christianity is the umbrella, but underneath the umbrella are different denominations. So Catholic is Christian because they're under the Christian umbrella. So denominations are just kind of different branches of Christianity. Now I need a tree. Branches. I'm just kidding. You don't have to put a tree in there. There's branches of Christianity, and we as Life.Church are a part of the evangelistic church. Non-denominational is very much kind of our thing. So Catholic is just a denomination, which means there are certain things that we believe are the foundation of our faith, like Jesus is the Son of God, and he's also our Savior, and he's the way to God. And that's something that we all believe. But then there are things that are what we call non-essential beliefs that maybe different denominations have different opinions on. But what we believe is that they're not crucial to your salvation. They're not crucial to, if you don't take communion every Sunday, that you won't go to heaven. That's not what we're saying. We just kind of leave it available for you to decide and to go through kind of your Bible and figure out what you believe about those things. Nora Gaha asked, how do we deal with music other than Christian, and should we listen to it?
I am someone that heavily listens to secular music. I think you have to keep in mind what it's doing to impact you in your head. And so if I'm listening to a song that I know has bad intentions, bad words, lots of things that are going to negatively impact my mind, I'll just shut that one off. Maybe skip that playlist because you don't want it to influence and overtake you. Yeah, I would say that's all about your conviction. If you feel convicted that listening to anything other than Christian music is harming your brain, or you just don't feel like you act the same, like maybe you're a little bit more negative, then I would say just stray away from those things. But I also think that there's nothing wrong with listening to music that's not Christian, as long as it's not just pay attention to what you're feeding your mind. So if it's full of cuss words and full of all these horrible things that you would never want anybody else, like your parents, to find out that you listen to, maybe not something you should listen to. Just kind of know your boundaries and know what are the things that affect you. And I would say make decisions based off of that. And if you're confused, I would say ask your community, ask your switch group, or ask the people around you that you do life with, and ask them, do you think I'm a different person when I listen to this music? What are your thoughts? I think that that's always really helpful. Our last question is from Brooke Schober. How do you deal with persecution? Persecution comes in a lot of different forms. Little Miss Perfect is a nickname that has followed me since I was in the 3rd grade. So it's just kind of one of those things. It's not necessarily something that I'm going to let stop me from following God. Just
Absolutely.
keeping him at the forefront of my mind.
Yeah. I actually read something the other day that was, if you get criticized for the people that you love, then you're actually probably doing it right. So we as Christians, we should be loving all people from all walks of life. And so I would say, again, kind of going back to some things I've said in previous episodes, like, it's really not our job to like fight back persecution. It doesn't always feel fair, but like, that's not what Christianity is about, is like fairness. What it's about is grace and truth and love. And so I say we should just be the people that know in our hearts that when we're walking with the Lord, we're doing what is right, and we're going to love people from all walks, from all beliefs. We're going to respect people from all parts of life, and just not participate in anything like that. Great questions. Again, leave some questions down below if you have any. Thank you for joining us this week on Culture Makers. We love you guys, and we will see you next week.
Bye.